Hello everyone, Coach Jacinto here. So in this video, we're going to talk about our in-season plan, okay? Last video, we talked about our preseason and how we reduce 20% of our lifts. So in this block, we're going to reduce our number of lifts for like 30%, okay? So, and this is an important block for us. Basically, we're in season, right? And we spend almost 13 total weeks during this block. So, couple things that we do, okay? So, like I said, we reduce our number of lifts by around 30%. And you can see on this graph, so here's a 4-week season plan. So each block, right, it's for about 4 weeks. Now, you can see that on our eccentric and isometric plan, we're at about 1,778, okay? That's our total number of core lifts. And then our preseason, so 20% is about 862. But our total preseason, a little lower, about 855. And then our in-season, so 30% off of the 1,078 is about 755. And we're at about 766, so pretty close, okay? So that's how we reduce the number of lifts. And we also use complex training like we talked about in preseason, but not as often. We do some max effort. We lift heavy during in-season, but we're smart about it, okay? So let's talk a little bit about some of these things that we do in season. So the first thing that we do is we use kind of like a rotation of all of our lifts, okay? So on a 3-day plan, so let's say, for example, for week 1, we start with back squat, okay? So we start with our back squat. We kind of talked a little bit about that, and we'll dive in a little bit about some of the rep schemes that we use. But for day 1, back squat in green, so it's dynamic. It's a dynamic day. So on that day, what we're going to do is some type of complex training, okay? Day 2 is our bench press in blue. That's our max effort. We're going to lift pretty heavy. We're going to go about 90 to 100% during that day, okay? Now, and then day 3 are power cleans. Now, what happens at the end of the week during football season? Football games, right? So the majority of our football games happen on Friday. So if we're keeping the lift the same, so if I kept it with the power cleans always at the end of the week, what would happen? I would always be changing that because of our protocol. So we have an in-season protocol. With our in-season protocol, what ends up happening is we cut all our reps in half from that day, cut reps in half, and we eliminate the last set of each exercise. So now if I was doing that for every power clean day, which would be every Friday, every Thursday or Friday, right? We would never get our cleans in. We would never get the amount of reps that we want for our cleans. So what I do with our in-season workout is we kind of do a rotation, right? So week 1, we start back squat. Day 2, bench press. Day 3, power clean. But then we kind of switch it a little bit. So then week 2, we're going to go bench press. Power cleans now becomes day 2. Back squat becomes day 3. And then for week 3, we kind of shift things over again. So now power cleans becomes our day 1. Back squat comes back around to be our day 2. And then day 3 is our bench press, okay? And then we wrap it back around, back where we started. Back squat for day 1, bench press for day 2, and then power cleans for day 3. This way we're kind of distributing all our lifts throughout the week, and we're actually getting all our reps in. So on day 1, we're going to get all our reps in for that day, okay? So I want to make sure that all of our lifts are being hit on that day. On day 2, we're going to get majority of our lifts during that time, okay? And then on a couple days, we're going to get about 90 to 100% on those days on week 1 and week 3, okay? And then day 3, we're always going to there's going to be either if it's one day away from game day, or if we lift on game day, we're eliminating the reps and we're cutting those reps in half. And if we're lifting on game day, we're cutting the reps in half and we're eliminating the exercise. So that's why I like the rotation, that this kind of rotation throughout our in season. This way, a lot of our lifts aren't being compromised by the protocol for game day. So here's some examples of the box squats. Now keep in mind, this is varsity only, okay? So for our varsity athletes that we're really focused on gaining speed. I want your power, I want you to move the bar quickly, and I want to increase your power and speed, okay? Now, regular squats, our younger athletes are always going to do regular squats, okay? Our freshmen, our sophomores, and some juniors, but our freshmen and sophomores are always doing regular squats. And the reason why is regular squats are going to help with hypertrophy. So we're really wanting our younger athletes to gain size, so we really want them doing regular squats, okay? But our athletes that are going into varsity, they're performing in varsity, we really want them to perform well, so we're going to move them into a box squat, okay? So this is kind of how the progression works. An off-season box squat, we're going to be at 12 inches with a 6-inch foam, okay? And as you can see, the shin angle is more perpendicular to the ground here. So they're really setting back. So this is more of like the Louis Simmons West Side Barbell type of squat, right? So where they're sitting back, shin angle is perpendicular. They're sitting really wide, pushing out, really getting those hamstrings and those glutes activated. And then as we move into the preseason box squat, okay, so you can take a look at the shin angle. It's more of an athletic shin angle, okay? So we're more at about 45 degrees where we're moving in this direction and with our shin angle. Same size box, same size foam, okay? 6-inch foam, low density, low to medium density, with it really being able to sink in and sit. So when we do box squats, you have to sit for at least a second. Sit, release the eccentric from the concentric, okay, and explode up, all right? Now, here's what we do in season for our varsity athletes, for our athletes that are playing both ways. These are our seniors and some juniors, okay? We're moving the bench up, okay? So they're actually sitting on a 16-inch box that is about the height of a bench that they use. So some of our athletes are on the bench. Most of them are just doing it on the box or on the bench, right? Most of them are on the bench, okay? The reason why is they're sitting a little higher. As you can see, they're not getting quite to parallel, okay? But we're still putting weight on there. We're still at about 90 to 100% with their weight, okay? But they're moving it a lot faster, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm really looking for them to move weight as quickly as possible, okay? So now, keep in mind, even though our varsity only are doing these box squats, they're only doing it on back squat day, okay? They're still front squatting, okay? Regular front squat, and they're still doing some type of single leg squat, okay? This is just for our back squat. This is an adjustment that we use that I believe will make them faster, and that's what I want. I want them to be fast at varsity, on varsity as a senior and as a junior, okay? So if you're starting on varsity, you're on this box progression, okay? Like I said, you are still gonna front squat, and we're still single leg squatting every other day, okay? So they're still getting below parallel, but with different types of exercise, just not with our back squat, okay? Now this is what a workout card looks like, okay? So now we've put it all together. It sits on their rack, okay? They're able to look at their workout for each day and each week. It tells you the percentage, and they're able to match it up with the percentage chart that is on their side. So this way they look at their percentage of their 1RM, they're able to see how much weight they're gonna lift, okay? The great thing about using Google Sheets is that we can make these changes. So next semester, what I'm gonna do is with my student athletes, is they're gonna make a copy of this workout, and they're gonna go in and they're gonna make the formulas to get their exact weight, okay? And I'll show them how, but it's pretty cool how where they can just plug in their 1RM and boom, it instantly gives them the amount of weight that they should be using for that set, okay? This is another reason why I like Google Sheets. It's a great way to keep track of your volume. So you can see here, this is how I keep track at the very bottom. So the number of reps for our core lifts. Like I said, I don't count all of our accessories, okay? Our accessories, I don't count those. I don't overload them with accessories just because we don't want to do that either, but I only count our major lifts, okay? So as this one, you can see that the total number of lifts off to the right is 1,078. And you can see that I can even split it up into each week. What percentage? So you can see that for week 1, 24% of those lifts are happening in week 1. And then 25% of those lifts are happening in week 2. And then so it kind of progresses, right? So it keeps climbing. Now we've got about 28% for week 3. And then we bring it back down for week 4, which is our deload week, okay? So it gives me a great way to kind of keep track of that, to make sure that I'm not overloading and giving too much volume to our student athletes, okay? So Google Sheets is a great way to keep track of that as well. Here's another way that I use Google Sheets. I put this on Canvas. My student athletes make a copy of it. And when we do our 1RMs, okay, they can actually go into a sheet like this. They plug in their 1RM that they maybe hit last time or that they want to hit, and then it gives them an automatic calculation of the lifts for their warm-ups. So you can see deadlifts, for example. Let's say your deadlift was 405, okay? You throw in 405, it automatically calculates your lifts, your weight that you should be lifting per set. So your first warm-up set should be at 225, right? For 5 reps, okay? Your second should be about 265, okay? You can go up or down. Most people go up, right? And then we're gonna go for set 3, 305, set 4, 345, and then set 5, 385, and then we're gonna hit 405, okay? Now, if you hit 405 when we're doing our 1RMs throughout the week, remember, if you hit 405, for the next month, guess what? I'm gonna give you 5 pounds, you're gonna go 410. Now, if you can hit more than that, great, go for it. If you're feeling good, I'll let my athletes go further, okay? Their technique looks good, they're feeling good. All right, let's try to hit it by 10. Let's get 10 more, okay? Or just try to get 5 more, okay? Some of my athletes don't like for me to give them 5 pounds. There's an athlete who's like, I don't need you to give me 5 pounds, I'm gonna get it myself. Hey, perfect, all right? So each athlete's different, all right? This is the great thing that they can use this, and you can see that the chart down below kind of gives them an idea for their progressive overload. So each month, they're able to move their weight up by 5 pounds. And basically I tell them, I said, hey, if you can increase your 1RM by 5 pounds a month, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so these are sheets that they can use, that I use in Google Sheets, that they can make copies on Canvas, which is pretty awesome. Okay, here is our annual periodization. This is everything just kind of tied in and put together, and this is on my Google Sheets. And they're all attached to the different sheets for the different programs. So a coach can come in and see, I can share these with coaches, I can share these with my coaches, my athletic coaches, my athletic department, my athletic director, okay? And I can say, this is our plan for our fall athlete, okay? We've got speed and agility, plyometrics, conditioning. We have all that in one little spot. That was my biggest thing, is that there's so much out there, right? And Google Sheets really helped me logistically to kind of put it in one spot, to where I created this map and it made a lot of sense for me, okay? So Team Builder, if you use Team Builder, it is a great resource, a great technology to have in your weight room if you can have it. We don't have it yet. Someday, hopefully we will. But if you do have Team Builder and you utilize Team Builder, they went and they created a QR code for the first 3 months of our program that I use, okay? So if you use Team Builder and you like what you hear, scan the QR code, and then this will give you the first 3 months of our program for free, okay? So if you do have any questions, you can contact me. Here's my number, here's my email address, and here is the barcode for my Instagram. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day.